The 2015 to 2016 Super El Niño has combined with climate change to put 60 million people at risk of hunger. It has brought severe droughts and flooding to people in the Horn of Africa, Southern Africa, Central America, Asia, the Caribbean and the Pacific. In Ethiopia alone, emergency food aid is needed for 9.7 million drought-affected people. Guatemala, Nicaragua, Honduras and El Salvador have endured one of the worst droughts in decades. 3.5 million people remain food insecure. In Haiti, the heaviest rains for 5 years, in May and June, have led to a rise in cases of cholera. In Vietnam, a third of the country was affected by drought and saltwater intrusion. For the first time in decades, negative agricultural growth was recorded. 60 million people are facing a food crisis, but the public hasn't heard about it. This is the biggest humanitarian crisis in the world right now, but it hasn't made the headlines because it was a slow, creeping disaster. No media means no public awareness, which means no one is challenging governments to put up the cash needed to save lives now. So, communities are taking it into their own hands to ensure their voices are heard. Over the past 6 months, hundreds of farmers from Zimbabwe, the Dominican Republic, Haiti, Cuba and Honduras have come together to have their voices heard at climate hearings, where Oxfam and partners have been empowering people to testify their experience of the devastating impacts of climate change and this El Niño. Ultimately, this is about money. This food crisis shows clearly what happens when we fail to invest enough in helping communities adapt to climate change and to grow and buy enough food in a warming world. Funds are urgently needed now to support the most vulnerable communities to build their resilience to the changing climate. Please join us to tell world leaders to release the cash urgently needed to protect lives now and in the future.